but I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. Well, I'm so tired of crying, but I'm out on the road again. I'm on the road again. I ain't got no woman just to call my special friend.
Canned Heat are an American blues rock band. They were formed in 1965, and their aim was to bring blues music into the kind of rock audience, and to raise awareness of blues music. So it's a bit like the role that the Yardbirds and Cream and bands like that had in the UK at the time in the late 60s. They were part of the hippie scene, so they played a lot of the festivals, and they were mostly popular in the late 60s, but they're still going. So this was their second album, and it was their most commercially successful album, and I think it could be considered a bit of a classic now. So unlike the first album, which was mostly covers of blues classics, this is mostly their own material. However, most of them are written very strongly in the style of some of the blues classics, to the extent that you could probably identify which particular track they're taking the riffs from at times. Um, People who spring to mind are people like John Lee Hooker and Howlin' Wolf and guys like that. On the Road Again, which was the song that became a very successful international hit single, is a bit more psychedelic. It's got a backing that sounds like it has some kind of Indian instrument in the background. But that's to some extent an exception here on the album. There are songs about all sorts of things, but it's kind of classic blues subject matter. So songs about women, songs about alcohol, songs about drugs, songs about freewheeling lifestyle, and yeah, pretty standard in that sense. The last track, which is called Fried Hockey Boogie, so it's a classic. Introduce the band and have a solo for each member of the band, kind of jam that you might have at a concert, and apparently this was a concert favourite. So interesting to hear that making its way onto an album. And I think that's probably my favourite track, but I do like a nice jam, uh, even Strawberry. In my opinion, the tracks get stronger as they go through the album. Um, just a quick word about the vocals. Bob Heiss is their most common vocalist, and he's got a fairly classic kind of blues voice. However, Alan Wilson did a couple of tracks, so that includes On the Road Again, and his voice is quite distinctive. It's been described as a high mumbling, and he does one of the other tracks on the album as well. I enjoyed it. I think it's well played. It's nicely put together. It's got blues. It's got the feel of blues. It doesn't have the kind of spine-tingling infectiousness of some blues. Some of the later tracks in the album are a bit more like that, I think, but it's not quite as strong as I would say that the Blues Brothers album is, for example. But I did enjoy it.
And the first to do the boogie for y'all this evening is the Blind Owl. Now the Blind Owl's from Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah. Blind Owl, do your boogie.